Good evening, ladies. It's so good to be here once again. I'm so excited to be doing this with you and for you. Once again, you're welcome to the Rise program, and it's so good to have you here. And today, we're going to be talking about one of the topics that has really ruined a lot of relationships and marriages and keep many persons it keeps many persons frustrated and unfulfilled. And we're going to be thrusting it out today. And I trust that we would have enough time to really cover it. And if we don't, we're going to expand it to another session. Once again, you're welcome to the Rise Show, and I am so excited to have you here. So we're going to be talking about the love you deserve. So you'll be thinking, what kind of love do I deserve? What kind of love do you deserve? You deserve to be loved the way you love. That's if you love rightly. You deserve a peaceful love. You deserve the right love. You deserve God's kind of love. And that's exactly what I'm going to put you to today. So before you can access that kind of love, sometimes you need to heal. Sometimes you need to learn how to recognize toxic patterns. I've counseled a lot of leaders. We are emotional beings, and leaders tend to be emotionally tied, emotionally bound, even to people that are not even worth it, right? And that's exactly what I'm going to be covering today. And I'm going to be teaching you how to discover toxic patterns and heal from it, and also step into God's best for you. So I'll start by telling you what toxic pattern is, what toxic love is. So what is toxic love? I'm going to be using what I have here. Toxic love is a love that drains, a love that controls, a love that manipulates, a love that makes you feel less than. Toxic love is a kind of love that fits your insecurity, right? Rather than cover it, rather than heal your insecurity. It fits your insecurity. It makes you feel unworthy. It makes you feel useless. It makes you feel not up to par, right? Toxic love make you question your worth, it makes you doubt your love. It's not a good place to be. And I'm going to be teaching you how to recognize this kind of love and run away from it, right? And one of the things I will say before I even lay this foundation is to always choose you. Always choose you. Always choose you. I'm going to be showing you how to recognize this pattern so you don't keep justifying the wrong things in the name of love. I always tell my ladies that suffering is not the price to pay for marriage. You can get married without having to suffer long. You can get married without having to endure unnecessary things, right? Maybe God's will for you may not be completely perfect, but God's will is purposeful, God's will is peaceful, God's will is loving, right? There's a good kind of love. There's someone that can love you rightly. So here is how to I recognize and identify toxic patterns. Toxic patterns can be Common toxic patterns can be over functioning. When you're always the one calling, you're always the one testing, you're always the one trying to make things work, you're always the one overly loving, you're always the one doing all of those things and you're not getting it back in return. Right? That is over functioning, and it's a sign that there is a toxic pattern in that relationship. Toxic pattern, it can also be example of over functioning can be that he cheated or she cheated on you and you are the one fasting for them to change. Like you literally go and pray. I had a relationship sometime in 2021, early 2021, late 2020, so 2021. And this particular guy, he goes around clubbing, hanging out with ladies, drinking, and I was a very good Christian, right? And I was trusting God, I was praying, I was fasting. I didn't fast so much for him to change. I wanted him to become a changed person, and he didn't even care. They kept throwing us onto the wind, going out with girls, sleeping around, and I was trying to really change him. That's a toxic pattern right there. Why do I have to do that? There are other guys out there, there's someone out there that can love me the way I want to be loved, right? But I stayed there, I didn't even know that I was over functioning. Or some days I'll have to recharge for him just so he could call me. It was very bad. It wasn't a good place to be. I mean, my sanity and peace went for it. At the time though, I'm good now. So we're functioning. Secondly, emotionally unavailable patterns. These ones, you don't even want to be with them. They don't call, they don't check on you, they don't care about your existence. You literally are always the one trying to check on them, trying to make sure they are fine, trying to, you cannot even tell if you're in a relationship. A guy that I used to tell ladies, no guy is too busy for you, right? Love demands that you hear from your partner. Well, at the initial stage of your love relationship, you guys might not communicate as much, especially if your love language is quality time. it might not be that smooth, but with time, it's going to really come around. But it's not supposed to be so bad that it doesn't call you in a day, doesn't call you in 2 days, 3 days. That is an emotionally unavailable person. You talk to them, you don't even feel what you feel, you don't care about how you feel. That's an emotionally unavailable person, and you shouldn't build a long lasting relationship on that kind of thing because you are going to be unhappy, right? So, and one of the signs that you are also toxic and you are already condoning toxicity is when you tolerate an emotionally unavailable person. You are justifying their lack of attention for you. You don't always come around and you're always like, oh, he's busy, oh, he has something to do, oh, he's a dictionary man. That's a toxic pattern. You shouldn't condone it, right? Another one I have here is constant cycles of breakup and makeup. Some people confuse chaos for, when you come back after every chaos, you always find a way to come back and you are justifying it by saying that, we always come around despite all our chaos, despite all our fights, despite all our differences. We always come around. That means that we are meant for each other. No, that is trauma bonding. That is trauma bonding. That is a sign that something is wrong. If you're always fighting, always having issues and coming back together, you're thinking that it's a sign that you're meant to be together. No, no, no. It's trauma bonding. We need to fix something there, and we'll talk about that subsequently. All right. So yes, another thing is settling for crumbs. Settling for crumbs. I had a relationship with a guy that his values were not even aligned with my values. The guy I talked about, I was cheating, he was partying. His values were not even aligned with my values at all. But I didn't know. I wasn't healed at the time. I didn't even understand what was important way, and I was seriously controlling it. So by the time I broke out of that relationship, I got to another relationship, and it was somehow different from the guy I was with. He was a Christian. That other one was a Muslim. He was a Christian, and maybe he's still a Christian. I don't know. And we it was not as bad as my ex at the time. And I felt like, oh, this is still better. At least he's a Christian, at least he goes to church, maybe it's gonna change. But he does a lot of things that, I mean, we're not really aligning to what I hold dear to my heart, right? But I was trying to feel that, oh, it's better, it's not as bad, we can make it work. So there was a mindset that I may not get somebody better. So maybe you are also there and you're justifying a wrong relationship because you feel like it's better than your ex. It's a toxic pattern. It's a toxic pattern. You know you are not happy, but you're scared that you won't find someone better. That's a toxic pattern. That's something that you should run away from. So another one that I have here, that the toxic pattern is spiritual manipulation. Some guys tell you that, God said that you are my wife. God already told me you are my wife, and he's treating you like an option. I don't get it. I don't seem to get it. Whoever told you I am your wife and you are still treating me wrongly does not even matter to me. I'm going to work out of this relationship. Don't let anyone manipulate you spiritually. I am a Christian too, and I love the Lord, and His word is absolute. But in a courtship relationship, in a dating relationship, and I don't get it. You're not even married yet, and you're treating me like an option, right? How do I believe it? How do I believe? That is why your personal relationship with God is very key. So no one goes around manipulating your emotions, and then you don't ignore your peace, you don't ignore your sanity, you don't ignore your happiness, your future, your destiny, because you want to be a missus. Right? So don't allow anyone to. I am trying to check our time. So what are the signs that you're in a toxic relationship? What are the signs that your relationship is also toxic? Even when, for those that I've not even talked about. So one is you lose your peace more than you gain love. You are always you always lack a peace. You're not happy. You can't. When people are talking about their relationship, you barely even know what to say. I mean, I'm not saying you should go engage in conversations that you have to flaunt your partner and all, but you are seldom happy. Right? You know that you're not really happy in this relationship. You know it, right? So you lose your peace more than you gain love. That's a sign that you're in a toxic relationship. Second, you start doubting your worth. This person make you doubt your worth. Like, am I useless? Don't I deserve love? Don't I? You begin to ask questions that make you feel like you're unworthy of genuine love. Like you cannot be taken care of. You have to do so much for someone to love and accept you. That is a toxic pattern and it's a toxic relationship. Another one is you feel anxious, like you feel safe. You are, I have felt like this, and it's not a good place to be. Trust me, it is not a good place to be. True love makes you secure, right? True love, there's this security that comes with having a relationship. You think about your man, and there's like a peace that is gushing out of your soul. It is heavenly, right? There's this tranquility. I can't. What can I explain it? Right? You should experience it too. You should experience it. So you feel anxious more than you feel safe. It's a sign that that relationship is not right in any way. Another one is you compromise your values just to keep them. I've been there. Again, it's not a good place to be because you feel less, you feel guilty, you feel your confidence is being trampled upon. You are not. Oh my god! Oh my god! No, 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 no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I understand that the toxic pattern is you compromise your values just to keep them. Things that you hold dearly, things that mean so much to you, you throw it down the drain just because you don't want to be single. That is a sign of a toxic pattern, a toxic relationship. So heal, heal, heal before you can even decide to date again or I'm glad you've understood what toxic patterns are. You need to heal before you can have a wholesome relationship because these patterns will most likely repeat itself if you do not heal. And one of the ways to heal is to first acknowledge the roots, right? What are those things that have caused this pattern? Many toxic patterns stemmed from childhood trauma, stems from how you were parented, how you were raised, from your nurture, how you were being nurtured, things you grew up seeing, your nature, what surrounded you, what your environment projected to you, right? So childhood trauma, two, it can be abandonment wounds. I counseled a girl some time ago, and I heard that say, okay, I didn't directly counsel her. I heard that say that one of our stepsister, auntie or uncle told her she's useless, and she's been feeling like it crept deep into her, and she took it to heart, and she didn't do much about her life because that word kept sinking that she's useless, she's useless, there's nothing her life can amount to, and that was a lot. That could cause a lot of things.